All right, so what's up, guys? So we are out here on another run, going on another journey. Yeah. So, lovely weather out today. Beautiful day we got. The sun about to set. Everything, whoa, we almost died. And yeah, so here we go. And we're about to cross this street and make our way over and not die. So let's see, what are we going to talk about today? Whoa! How did we do that? I don't know, you tell me. Hard work. All right. So, since we brought it up, we can talk a little bit about hard work, right? So what it means to me, what it could mean to you or anybody, you know, in general, right? So you got that concept, right? It may sound very straightforward to you, you know, hard work, you know, stuff that requires, you know, seemingly an immense amount of effort to do, right? You know, because it has the word hard in front of work, right? Because work within itself is just the activity. You know, it's just what you're doing, you know, to get by, you know, to make your money, you know, to go out and make something of yourself in this world, right? Because that's what you want, right? You want to have the ability to work, in a sense, right? That's your employment, you know, what you do, your trade, perhaps, right? So you got that. But, you know, when you introduce that word in front of it, you know, hard work, right? And that's not necessarily to say that that work, you know, you're supposed to be, you know, grinding your teeth out, you know, in a sense, suffering for what you're doing, quote unquote, like backbreaking work. And I'll tell you, I can definitely relate to that. Oh, and we had a drop right there. So I'll go back to my example in a second, but you know, my example, oh, who's that? Who's that? I, you know, worked in a restaurant, you know, worked in that industry for quite a bit, you know, since the day I turned 18. First thing that I was sent to do was go and work, and it happened to be at a restaurant. And within there, you know, I came to a shock, you know, what it meant to work for money, work for $1, you know, put in your time and receive, you know, the benefits, or to receive it, right? Because that's ultimately why you're working. And, you know, after my shifts, and also during, you know, I obviously felt it, you know, my back would almost give out, right? I was carrying these heavy plates around, going around this restaurant, you know, chasing people down, you know, catering to their every need and working, right? And you can say, you know, that was hard work, right? It's work that required a certain effort to get done. And you have the evidence of that, right? You have, you know, the soreness, you know, to prove it, right? Wake up the next day, it's undeniable. You know, you exerted yourself the day before. You worked at something. And that's not, you know, to say that's a definite indicator of it, right? You know, it's not the end all be all, right? Just work to get sore. Like, obviously that's a sign that you busted your behind and you put in some effort, right? You want to get sore. You want, you know, to push your body to its limits and, you know, have those effects, you know, those growing pains that people feel. And while, you know, that may be good in a sense, right? That's not everything. That's not the true definition of hard work. That's only one aspect of it. Because, you know, I'll tell you this, you know, that hard work can also be mentally draining, right? It doesn't have to be physically draining. It doesn't have to always be having to do with your body, right? It can have, you know, take a toll on your mind, right? Sometimes you need a mental break, right? You need to sit down, you know, relax, have a glass of wine, or, you know, whatever, just to relax and let your mind, you know, go. Let it have a minute to cool down, because when you do too much, oh, what are we gonna do? There we go, we made it. So what were we saying? Is it all these people running? I don't know what just happened, but that was interesting. And you know, once, you know, what was I saying? So yeah, so about hard work, right? So you have, you know, simply effort for the sake of effort, right? You just have work, right? Just torture, right? In a sense, almost like, you know, someone throwing you into a jail cell, right? That form of, like, you know, and I'll even say, like, for me, you know, I can't really anymore, or, you know, I probably still can, you know, given the mental effort, but like, I can't go back to running on a treadmill and staring at a wall for 2 hours, right? To me, you know, I don't feel like that would be right. Like, I don't feel it would be the right way, you know, right definition of hard work, you know, for me. Although for others, you know, they love to do that. They become accustomed to that. You know, they almost find a sense of peace, a sense of calmness within, you know, simply staring at that wall, you know, and reflecting on their day or whatever, you know. And that's not a bad thing, right? That's their preferences. But, you know, you're a human, you're an individual. You have, you know, your preferences, your things that bring you joy, you know, specific to you. That you're a unique individual. And for that, you know, you should figure out, you know, what you love to do and what you don't. And, you know, coordinate your hard work, you know, accordingly, right? Those words are very close together, but you get the gist of that. So in a sense, you know, it would be, you know, quite foolish, you know, for me to simply put myself through these forms of quote unquote torture, right? For the sake of torture itself, for the sake of putting myself in an uncomfortable position. And we gotta yell! And the street is so loud. But you get the gist, right? So in that sense, you know, that's not to say like you want to do those things, you want to put yourself in a comfortable position, right? For the sake of it, because it builds mental willpower, right? It makes you able to handle situations that you otherwise, you know, wouldn't be able to handle, like things you don't like to do. So for that, you know, that's a skill within itself, and you got to recognize what you're doing, you know, with that. So in essence, pick your battles, figure it out, and we got to cross. And we made it alive. Yeah, yeah. Oh, look at us, we're showing off again. We're showing off, showing out. So what were we saying? So about the concept of hard work, right? So you got to know, you know, essentially what you're doing, right? As, you know, basic as that sounds, that's what it comes down to. You know, recognizing, you know, what you're putting your time into, right? What gym you're going to. You know, is it a CrossFit gym? Is it a, you know, serious gym? Is it a college campus gym? Like, what type of gym is it? Because every single gym is gonna have its own preferences. It's gonna have its own specific, you know, how do you say, like, equipment, you know, and, you know, ability to tackle your needs, right? Because that's what it also boils down to as a hard work. You know, it has to cater to your needs, has to cater to what you want in life, you know, those goals that you have for yourself. So, you know, being almost like a detective, right? A Sherlock Holmes. You want to investigate, you know, who you are, you know, and what, you know, situations you're putting yourself through, what places you're going to, and do your research, do your homework, you know, figure out who goes there, you know, what the reviews are, read them. You know, they're there for a reason. They're not for you to simply glance over and ignore, right? Because that would just be a waste. So let's see, let's, whoa, throw this over and not get killed. And we made it. So look at that. We're still dealing with some shoulder pain, so arguably we're okay though. We'll make it. That's why we're here. So, you know, in essence, what were we even talking about? Yeah. So yeah, man, like very easily, like I can be like to myself, all right, I want to do CrossFit, right? I'm gonna go and do CrossFit, you know, for me. And that's not to say that I can, you know, build a great physique and have a great time at a CrossFit gym, but I gotta realize, you know, what my goals are, what I want to do for myself. And you know, what I realize is that I don't need to venture out to a CrossFit gym to get my workout in, right? I have one right here, right at the convenience of my home. And you know, for that reason, you know, I have that figured out. I have that part, you know, that understanding of this is my gym, this is where I'm going to work out, and I'm going to make the most of it. And that's not to say that you have your mind set on one place and you close it off to outside, you know, influences, like you have your mind made up. You got to always be open to change. You always got to be willing, you know, to make a move to another one, you know, if it comes up. And you know, things happen, you know, you can get hurt at that gym, management can change, you know, and they take out half the equipment, or they start changing things on you. And why would you stop, you know, yourself from questioning, you know, what does that gym provide me? You know, what is it doing for me? And always be in that state, you know, of observation, you know, and be willing to change, not, hey, hello, and not, you know, be so stuck, right, and immobile, because you always, you know, and that's one aspect of life, you know, you're always changing, you know, you're never static, right? Time is going by, you know, you're getting older, you know, whether you like it or not, you know, the world is changing in front of you. So why not change with it? You know, why resist that and continue, you know, doing the same things you've always done, you know, for the sake, you know, of your habit, you know, simply, you know, as cliche as it, you know, you're going through the motions. You know, you're not changing it, not switching it up. You know, that's why they even have in musics, they switch up the beat, right? You have the normal verse going, the guy's rapping, singing, and then, you know, you'll hear the beat switch up. It'll go from like, you know, 3 hits of a drum every couple seconds or whatever, and then it'll get slow, right, and deep, and then it'll get fast, right? That's life. No, it changes like that. You know, you got fast-paced times in your life, you know, when you gotta, you know, get up and go to work fast, you know, and be up at the crack of dawn and go to work and live that life. And there's other times where it's slow, you know, and you gotta relax, you know, and you're tired, right, and you're sick, right, and you can't move at the pace that you were before. So understanding that, you got to be able to adjust. You can't simply sit, you know, where you are. You can't, because things are moving, and the question is not whether or not they change, it's whether or not you change. And that's what I'll leave it with.